Alright, I'm back. We got ourselves some black coffee with a sprinkle of sugar in the raw on the bottom. We got our Shadow Fall Coffee Beer Fest mug right here. And this is Cutter's Point coffee. I forgot which blend. It's been a while since I emptied the bag, but it's pretty good shit. First time I've tried it. It's alright. Alright. We are getting right into it with some West of Olympia Grayscale. And this is in their original collection, not the seven collection, based off Seven Deadly Sins. So this will be the first time actually that I'm trying their original collection stuff. It does have a little bit more budget ingredients, but still nothing to slouch at. You got to remember, this is what I deem a soap of old. It's definitely a few years old for sure. It is a tallow-based soap. It has coconut oil, glycerin, shea butter, lanolin, clove flower, or I think some of these are fragrance oils because there's like clove flower, bergamot, lavender oil. Like I think some of them are fragrance oils, but it's not too bad though. I really do like with the West of Olympia soap. You can see where I scooped it in the middle. This was generously given to me by William from the Pacific Northwest Wet Shavers Facebook group. I have it whipped up already in my Thirsty Badger shave bowl. Sorry about that. Got that right there. Beautiful shave bowl product out of Canada. It is a very nice looking lather though. It came together really easily. It's a firmer soap. Not so firm you can't press into it with your finger, but it's still quite firm. You can see there, it does have some density to it. The brush we're using today is this Dark Sanctum official RoninX, and this is a 3D printed shave brush. You can kind of see the lines where the printer was printing it, and this one is in the marble colorway, so it's kind of like an off-white with black flecks in it. And then on top we got the AP Shave Co. 2-bed synthetic knot, and it is chock full of some good looking lather. Now this stuff smells really well. I don't know too much about it because West of Olympia is out of business now. RIP to the business. I know the guy, this was just a side hustle for him, and at some point he had to move on and focus on other things. Unfortunately, it's an awesome product out of Washington State, which is where I live. And so I kind of slept on West of Olympia, but in the same regard, I barely got into the hobby when they closed up shop. So it's like I didn't sleep on them too hard. I was exploring in every direction of the hobby at that point. But I mean, it's good looking lather, you know. West of Olympia, for being a soap of old, one thing I say, at least about their Seven Sins collection, which is their more luxury base, is that I think they were a bit ahead of their time. You know, they were kind of like Cold River Soapworks back in the day, or Cold River Soapworks. It wasn't the most popular brand. You didn't see them absolutely everywhere, but they were definitely leading the pack in quality. And I feel like West of Olympia was kind of in the same vein, except for even less known than Cold River Soapworks. They didn't have the coverage that Cold River Soapworks had, and they just kind of came and went as well. But for those of us in the Pacific Northwest who were blessed to be aware of West of Olympia, really good stuff. I definitely, once they closed up shop, I really wished I had, paid more attention and been more involved, so that I could pick up more of their scents. The razor for today is going to be this rare and beautiful Schick Injector New Improved Type F, and this one was only in production for 1 year during wartime. This razor also kind of came and went. It kind of has the typical handle shape of a Schick Injector, but it's all metal from top to bottom, and then it has kind of like this iconic brass plate that goes over the top. Very, very nice razor. Hard to find. They've definitely gotten rarer and more expensive as time goes on. But Schick was well into their years by the time they made this razor. And it has a very time-tested and well-designed head on it. Sorry, it's still morning time. I have had about a half cup of coffee, but my words and my thought processes are a little bit slower. But yeah, it's a well-designed razor. Schick was well into their years by the time they made this one. Their design had been pretty well fleshed out, and if you like the aesthetics of this razor, good luck getting one, on eBay or Etsy or buy sell trades. You're gonna have to be a rich man or a patient man. I don't know what caught me there, but if you get one, you'll join the special few who were lucky enough to put up the money or be patient enough to find a good deal or lucky enough to have it gifted to you. They're awesome razors. It shaves very similar to most of the older Schick Injectors. Has a little bit of blade feel. Has a nice amount of efficiency. And it's just a really rare and particularly good looking Schick Injector design. And it has good history behind it as well. So, this being my first use of the original collection, West of Olympia. This is going very well, exactly as I suspected. It is a soap of old, and so I can definitely see where it doesn't stack up with the best of the best today. There is a certain amount of it has residual slickness, but it's not top tier residual slickness. But it definitely is enough to get the job done. You don't need much, really. If you're making the right strokes in the first place, you probably don't need to have that much residual slickness. You could buff a little bit, but you don't want to overdo it anyways. Alright, pass one went well. Let's go ahead and get another sip of our black coffee here. The scent on this one is it's pretty unique. And I shouldn't say like unique, like there's nothing else like it, because the aftershave that I'm pairing with it, Unconditional Surrender from Chatillon Luxe, and also Declaration Grooming because they did the collaboration. But the scent is from Chatillon Luxe. If you're familiar with Unconditional Surrender, it also smells a lot like Grayscale. Like as soon as I popped the tub on Grayscale, my mind started racing on like, where have I smelt this before? And I started popping soaps open, trying to compare and figure this out. And when I grabbed Unconditional Surrender, I didn't even need to open the tub because I already knew I had found what I was looking for. But after I opened the tub and smelt it and held them side by side, I was like, yeah. I was like, this is exactly the one that I was thinking of. So if you're familiar with Unconditional Surrender, it smells very similar to that. A very nice cologne scent from Chatillon Luxe. Chatillon Luxe has quite the good reputation within our shave community, just because they're a long-standing collaborator with Declaration Grooming. And so a lot of wet shavers are very familiar with their scents and maybe even their products. I gotta say, this soap base is holding up really well. I'm not in a particular hurry or anything like that, but the lather's looking great. And although coconut oil is kind of high up on the ingredients list, this lather didn't turn out to be a Santa Claus beard type lather. It kept like a medium structure. It wasn't a real high volume, high structure lather. It kept like a medium structure. And I would say it has a nice medium density to it as well. Definitely ahead of its time. And the 7 collection soap base is even better than this one. But I really would have no struggles using this for the rest of my life. The soap base is perfectly adequate. Has great original slickness, decent residual slickness. I don't think the post shave is going to be anything to write home about, but a lot of soaps back in the day, the post shave, was just kind of adequate by today's standards. At some point, artisans stopped focusing on making the slickness better because there was just kind of no need. Like, the slickness got to a point where it was so good that there was no point in making the slickness any better. They started focusing on things like post-shave. And this soap definitely was before that turning point. I don't think the post-shave is going to be drying, but it's probably just going to be adequate, leaving your skin feeling ever so slightly better than it did before, but nothing jaw-dropping or anything like that. And these these Schick Injector shaves it doesn't get much better than this. For me. Schick Injector shaves are my fucking favorite. It's nice when you can use a piece of history like this. That's kind of like a functional piece of art. Has a great story about its time period. And it just still give you as good a shaves as it did back in the day during wartime. Just amazing, you know what I mean, when you really take a second to think about it. Alright, so that went extremely well, as good as I expected it to. Got a nice morning shave, a morning weekend shave. I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to upload this. It's Saturday morning, but whenever you see this, I hope you had a good weekend by the time you get around to watching this. And if you ever find some West of Olympia on the buy-sell trades, and you know, if you don't swoop it up for yourself just to see what I'm talking about, definitely let me know, because I'm interested in picking up West of Olympia. I don't need to get like a lifetime supply, but if there's a scent out there that I don't have, I'm definitely interested in picking it up. And definitely look for their Pride Barbershop and their 7 collection. That's one of my personal favorites. I have 2 of those. My second one, again, came to me via William from the Pacific Northwest West Shapers Group. Big shout out to William for being generous with his unobtainium. I really wish in those early days of my wet shaving journey I would have made it out to the Seattle area and went to those meetups. But it didn't play out like that. I was lucky enough to meet them this year, though, now that I'm, you know, like 5-6 years in. I don't even know. I feel like I've been saying 5 years for 5 years now, but I don't know how long I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a while. I'm 30 now, and I probably was doing it in my early 20s when I started wet shaving, so definitely been doing it for 5+ years. Okay. I think I was gonna do my crow's peak up here, but I started blabbering on too much, and I don't want my video to go on too long. You know what? Fuck it. All my videos go on long. I'll give you guys the rare on-camera lineup. I usually do this directly after I shut the camera off. Stretch the skin back. And I have a fairly deep, what do they call it? Widow's peak? Crow's peak? I forgot. But kind of right in the center where it comes down like a sand. If you're familiar with Dragon Ball. I have a fairly deep one. And so me and the barber always keep it cleaned up so it looks like a nice, even lineup up there. Nothing special to it, just quick and easy. Alright. Just like that. Alright. Chatillon Luxe Post-Shave Toner Unconditional Surrender. These are also unobtainium, but they were fantastic products back in the day when they were made. A little bit goes a long way. They used to say, you know, have your hand moist to kind of dilute it a little bit. And that smells like a more rich, more full-bodied version of Grayscale. Very similar in scent. Since it's a toner, I'm going to do the forehead and everything. Alright. Just past the 20-minute mark. Very, very enjoyable shave. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Again, I hope you have a good weekend. Keep your eye out for West of Olympia on the buy-sell trades, and I'll catch you on the next one.